Most women think ignoring a man is as simple as blocking his number, leaving his messages on scene, or going radio silent until he notices. But here's the truth. Men can smell fake ignoring from miles away. They can tell when it's just a performance, and that's when they either play the same game back or simply walk away. Real ignoring. The kind that makes a man think about you while he's at work, wonder what you're doing late at night, and feel that itch to reach out doesn't happen on the surface. It happens on a much deeper level, inside his unconscious mind. And this is where Carl Jung's work becomes fascinating. Jung believed that we are all driven by hidden forces, archetypes, shadows, and inner images that guide our attraction without us even realizing it. When you know how to tap into those forces, ignoring a man becomes more than just silence. It becomes magnetic. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to ignore a man in a way that doesn't push him away, but pulls him toward you. Not because you're playing games, but because something inside him feels like he can't let you go. If you've ever wanted a man to chase you not out of ego, but because he feels drawn to you like an addict to his next fix, make sure you stick around. And before we dive in, subscribe now so you never miss these deep psychology-based secrets that most people will never tell you. Before we get into the how, we have to talk about why this works, because without understanding the psychology behind it, ignoring a man can backfire. And Carl Jung gives us a powerful lens to see what's really happening. Jung believed that every person carries unconscious parts of themselves, pieces they hide, deny, or simply don't recognize. He called this the shadow. It's a side of us we might not proudly show, but it still drives our decisions, especially in love. Then there's the anima, the feminine image that lives inside every man's psyche, whether he's aware of it or not. This inner feminine acts like a compass, drawing him towards certain women who match or awaken that image. This is why sometimes a man can't explain why he's drawn to someone. It's not logic. It's his unconscious at work. When you ignore a man the right way, you're not being cold or cruel. You're creating a space where his unconscious has to fill in the blanks. That space builds tension and mystery. And in that mystery, his pursuer instinct wakes up. This is where most play hard to get advice goes wrong. It's shallow. It's about sticking to a script or playing timing games. Men can sense when it's just a tactic. But when you approach it through Jung's lens, ignoring isn't about pretending. It's about genuinely shifting your focus inward, letting him feel your absence without you having to announce it. Jung might say that attraction is a dance not between just two conscious minds, but between a man's conscious desire and his unconscious needs. The moment you stop overfeeding his conscious mind with constant attention, his unconscious starts searching for you, and that's when the chase begins. So let's break down what's happening in his mind when you create that space. First, the scarcity principle. People value what they can't easily have. If you're always available, he doesn't have to work for your time or attention. But when you pull back, your presence becomes rare, and rare things feel valuable on a deeper level. Jung would say scarcity triggers the hero archetype in a man. He suddenly feels the urge to win you, to prove himself worthy of your attention. Second, the projection effect. When you're not constantly updating him on your life or emotions, he fills in the blanks himself. And here's the twist. He often projects an idealized version of you into that space. This is where Jung's anima comes in. He starts to feel like you're the missing piece to his inner feminine image, even if you're not around. Third, the ego challenge. Men are wired to see unavailability as a personal test. When you're not giving him easy reassurance, his ego starts to itch. He wants to prove to himself and to you that he can win your attention again. Now here's where the important line is drawn. This isn't manipulation. You're not trying to trick him. You're protecting your value. You're saying, my time and energy are precious, and I give them to people who earn them. By stepping back in the right way, you create a magnetic pull that works far deeper than flirty texts or social media games. You're not just in his head, you're in his unconscious, and that's where lasting attraction is born. Here's the truth. Ignoring can be powerful, but when it's done the wrong way, it's like lighting a match in a windy room. The flame dies instantly. The first mistake is overdoing it, vanishing without a trace. Completely disappearing may make him wonder for a moment, but without any emotional connection left, he'll simply move on. Human connection needs at least a faint thread to pull on. If you cut the thread entirely, there's nothing to reel back in. The second mistake is ignoring in anger. If you pull away because you're mad and you want him to feel it, that energy leaks through. Jung would say that the energy you carry inside you is never truly hidden. It seeps out in tone, posture, timing, and even silence. If you're ignoring but secretly seething, he won't feel intrigue. He'll feel your resentment. And resentment triggers defensiveness, not desire. The third mistake is passive-aggressive ignoring, where you send mixed signals. You might like his social media posts but ignore his texts, or act friendly in public but cold in private. This doesn't spark attraction, it creates confusion. And confusion can make him withdraw completely. Jung's lens makes this crystal clear. Attraction thrives on tension, not hostility. The kind of tension that pulls people together is laced with curiosity and warmth, not bitterness or punishment. The goal is graceful detachment, not cold revenge. It's holding your ground with quiet confidence, not slamming the emotional door in his face. If you can master that balance, ignoring stops being a game and starts being a magnetic force. Now let's talk about the art of doing this right. Think of it less like ignoring and more like rebalancing your energy. You're not taking something away from him. You're giving it back to yourself. 1. Shift your focus inward. Instead of pouring all your mental and emotional energy into him, pour it into you. Pick up a hobby you've neglected. Reconnect with friends. Dive into work or a creative project. Jung called this individuation, becoming the fullest version of yourself. The more you feed your own life, the more naturally magnetic you become. 2. Control availability without announcement. You don't need to make a grand speech about needing space. Just stop being constantly reachable. If you text at 2 p.m., maybe you reply at 5 p.m. after you've actually been busy. Subtle absence is more powerful than loudly declaring distance. 3. Keep emotional neutrality. When you do see or speak to him, be pleasant and warm, but not overly invested. No icy tones, no exaggerated indifference. Think of it like talking to someone you like, but don't need. That calm steadiness is what makes him wonder, why doesn't she seem so affected by me anymore? 4. Use time and presence as currency. Your time is valuable. Treat it that way. If he invites you to hang out, you don't have to drop everything. Maybe you're busy today, but you're free later in the week. The slight delay increases anticipation. 5. Let him come forward. Resist the urge to fill gaps in communication. If he's taking time to reach out, let him. That space allows him to feel the pull of wanting you again. If you chase to fill the silence, the dynamic flips. You're back in pursuit mode. 6. Respond, don't initiate. When he reaches out, reply warmly, but keep it light. For example, him. Hey, how's your day going? You. Pretty good, just finish something exciting. What about you? Notice you're friendly, but you're not oversharing or trying to keep him hooked with endless conversation. You give just enough to invite him to invest more. Jung would frame all of this as an energy balance. You're not withholding to punish. You're creating the right amount of mystery and self-containment that awakens his inner pursuer. In this state, he doesn't feel manipulated, he feels intrigued. And intrigue is the beginning of deep desire. When you pull back in the right way, something shifts in his mind almost instantly. First, he starts questioning why you're not fully available anymore. This isn't just about your texts or time. It's about your energy. Men are incredibly sensitive to the subtle changes in how much attention they receive. When yours drops, he notices, then his imagination kicks in. He begins playing out scenarios where he loses you, where you might be moving on, spending time with someone else, or simply not thinking about him as much as before. This isn't just insecurity. It's his mind trying to make sense of the sudden gap. Next, he starts investing more energy to regain your attention. He may reach out more often, suggest plans, or become more affectionate. That's because the imbalance triggers his natural desire to close the gap between you. Carl Jung would say that in this chase, he's not just trying to get you back. He's confronting parts of his shadow. That shadow holds his fear of rejection, his need for validation, and his deep-seated belief about whether he is worthy of love. When those parts get activated, his pursuit of you feels deeply personal, almost like a quest. And here's the key. It's not a desperate chase for just any woman. because you've pulled back with grace and self-possession. The chase feels worth it to him. You're not only the object of his attention, you're the challenge that calls him to rise. Here's where most women get it wrong. They focus entirely on the action of ignoring, but they skip the mindset behind it. You must truly believe in your own value. If you secretly doubt yourself, your ignoring will feel like a gamble, anxious, inconsistent, and easy to see through. When you know your worth, ignoring becomes natural, because you're not clinging to his reaction for validation. This is where the inner work comes in. Spend time on self-reflection, understanding your needs, desires, and limits. Practice emotional regulation, so you can hold back from texting him first even when you're tempted. Strengthen your personal boundaries, so you know what treatment you will and won't accept. Jung's point is clear. You can't play the part. You must become a part. If deep down you still feel like you need him to choose you in order to feel complete, that energy will leak through no matter what you say or do. But when you step into your own fullness, when your life is rich, your heart is steady, and your attention is a gift rather than a lifeline, your unconscious energy tells the truth. He will feel the difference. And that's what makes the pull irresistible. Because in the end, ignoring isn't about pushing him away. It's about standing so firmly in your own light that he can't help but be drawn back toward it. Before you try this, it's important to know this approach is not for every situation. If you're dealing with a man who is abusive, controlling, or unsafe in any way, the right move is not to make him chase. It's to walk away completely and protect yourself. No amount of psychological strategy is worth your peace or safety. If your relationship is built on lies or betrayal, ignoring won't magically fix it. In those cases, what's needed is truth healing and perhaps professional help, not subtle attraction tactics. This method works best when there's already genuine mutual attraction, but the balance of effort has started to lean too heavily on you. Maybe he's gotten comfortable. Maybe he's taking your attention for granted. In those moments, pulling back with grace can reawaken the energy and effort he had at the beginning. But always remember, the goal isn't to manipulate him into behaving differently. It's to recenter yourself and give space for the right kind of man to step forward. At its core, ignoring a man the right way isn't about games. It's about reclaiming your emotional control. It's about deciding that your time, energy, and attention are valuable currencies, and you're not going to spend them on someone who doesn't invest back. Carl Jung's work reminds us that attraction lives in the space between what is seen and unseen, between what is given and withheld. When you stop overgiving, you don't just pull away your presence, you awaken something deep inside him, his pursuer instinct, his need to value, protect, and win you. And the beauty of this is, it's not about making every man chase you. It's about creating space so that only the right man, the one who truly sees your worth, steps into that chase. So here's a question to carry with you. If you stopped chasing and started valuing your own time, who might start chasing you instead? If you've enjoyed this deep dive into the psychology of attraction and how Carl Jung's ideas can transform your love life, make sure you subscribe right now. That way you won't miss the next video, where we'll uncover even more psychology-based secrets most people will never tell you. Because the more you understand how the mind works, the less you have to play games, and the more naturally irresistible you become.